Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of the 1 year anniversary of my album, 2024 album, Elephants. Yeah, this, as explained in the last video, was a gift. Stella, who I play guitar with, and her brother kindly made me this shirt. They surprised me at a gig I played recently. Not this album, playing other things. And they came and gave me a bag and said, "This is for you. It's a present." And they made me a T-shirt, my first merch for the album, if you want to call it that. Maybe a subscriber giveaway. You never know. Anyway, moving on. So part 2. So I thought we'd discuss what happened, if I get my notebook, trusty notebook, what happened after I made Elephants. So like I showed you before in my notebook, that's all I had written in my notes. I just basically made it without thinking, just organically made it. So I thought after I made it, I mean, it was supposed to be like rough and low production. Like, it was done in 3 days, basically. But the music, though, had a vibe to it, and I was digging it. I loved it, and lots of other people who listened to it said they really liked it, and the idea came up that I need to play it live somehow. But the way the music was made, it wasn't really for a band, and I don't have a band. So I thought, it's a bit cheesy, but I'm going to have to do it with backing tracks. So anyway, I had thought maybe one day. So sticking with the theme of David Lynch, what happened was, earlier this year, obviously, he died. So that had a big impact on me and friends of mine. And I thought, well, funny enough, the music I made in September the year previous was based on the Elephant Man, and there was lots of Lynchian themes in there. And I thought, wouldn't it be a shame? I wanted to play this stuff live. What if I could make like a tribute to him? So I first of all made a tribute where I covered his song "Lady in the Radiator" in Heaven from Eraserhead, and I went to my local acoustic night, and I dressed all in black and white, and I played this song for the audience, and I did it. This is an audience that are used to listening to cover songs by Oasis and REM. So I come along and I start saying, we lost David Lynch, so here's a weird song from one of his weirdest films played in a weird way. So I did it, and the reaction was quite positive. The acoustic nights afterwards, people kept saying, what song do you want to hear next? And you'd hear somebody shout, "David Lynch!" So I took that as a compliment.
Everything is fine. You've got your nice things, and I've got mine. I've got mine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You've got your nice things, and I've got mine. I've got mine. In heaven.
So anyway, being in this down and out David Lynch is dead mood, I looked up some David Lynch things, and there's this thing he did called transcendental meditation, which we won't go into, but basically he meditated, and I thought, well, me being an artistic person that likes to, emotionally change his mind now and again and do weird things, I set up a little space in my living room on the floor with my record player and my headphones, and I listened to music, and I tried to meditate. I tried this transcendental meditation, or my version of it. And even though you have to pay and go to a proper place to learn how to do these things, I did my own little version. And what actually happened was I had a vision. Yeah, I know, sounds corny, sounds cheesy, but I had a vision. And my wife says I fell asleep, right? But wise woman. But essentially, what I did was I woke up and I got this pad and I drew this. This is what I drew. This is what was in my head. This is what I saw. And I wrote down everything I could think of about what I was thinking about. And then I also transcribed it into how I could make it work. And also what songs I'd be doing. So basically, I had this image in my head of me stood in front of a projector having some material projected onto me while I play guitar. And that material would be David Lynch orientated. So I already made this tribute to David Lynch that I did. I did some little clips of him and I played along to a song. And I developed it further, and I needed material for music. Elephants, this album I had out that I liked listening to and people liked listening to. Let's turn it into a mini Pink Floyd concert, basically, is what I was thinking. So I had this idea, and this rooted from what I also looked at the year previous, which must have just popped up in my head while I was doing this. My favourite YouTuber of guitar, Dave Simpson, him and his sister, they did a live stream one night, and I managed to watch it, where his sister is an artist, a good artist, and she makes projections. So this was my first forte into looking at projections. And she did projections, and he played music in the background, and they live streamed it. And at the time I was like, oh, this is great, fantastic. Didn't think anything. I was like, arty, love it. And then I went to a couple of, where I live, we have a couple of art things that go on, and there was another projection inside an old converted church. I was like, okay, great, projections seem to be all the rage and things you can do. And then obviously when I had this little awakening, this little dream of what to do with the music, I married the two subconsciously. I must have married the two thoughts together. David Lynch music and some David Lynch visuals projected onto me. And then this is literally when I woke up, this is what I drew. I had to get my pen and pad and draw it. So we have me with my guitar and pedals, microphone, speakers, in front of a projector. Oh, in front of a screen, a projector projecting onto me, David Lynch material, while I'm playing the album. Great. Don't think I've seen that here before, where I am now. I mean, I've seen the projections being done onto people, but I've not seen this done here, especially in clubs or bars. So I immediately sent these pages. I took a picture. So I've got Elephants live show, audible visual experience, music to play along, synchronized, live guitar, black and white themes, shapes and colors, David Lynch, and then set lists, which changed. Those things I was going to do. How I'm going to physically stand. I did a top-down view drawing of how I would stand and where things would be laid out. That obviously changed, but I needed somewhere to start. And so I did that. And I sent these pages to a friend of mine called Wally in England, because I always there's two people I run it by. My wife, and then this time I ran it through him. I always give him my music because he's really good at listening to music, and he's very harsh when he gives his feedback, but I love that. And I just literally said to him, is this a good idea? Like, am I pissing in the wind? Is this worth doing? Is it a waste of time? Will people actually be interested? And his answer was, surprisingly, this is a brilliant idea. Why don't you do it? So thank you, Wally, if you're watching. You inspired me to continue with this. So the wheels are in motion. Then, like a mad scientist, I thought I've got to get some footage together. So I spliced some footage together. I had to get the music first of all together, how long it is in each section, and then basically had to come up with 8 clips I had to put together for the songs. But I knew in my mind I had to use clips of the Elephant Man, so I'm going to get copyright infringed for that. But this is what it is. This is the project. This is my pastiche, my homage to David Lynch and the Elephant Man. So I needed it for context. So yeah, I'm not going to claim any of that visual material as mine. The music's mine, but the visual content is a mixture of Elephant Man and some free what do you call it when it's open source video clips as well, because I'm not a video guy. I can't make my own videos like that, but I went online and I found some open source material, married it to clips from the Elephant Man, slowed things down, edited it, and I came up with this 33-minute video which I could play along to, because it's backing tracks. It's set in stone, the timing. Yeah. Again, I've got Pink Floyd The Wall influence coming in on me now. Basically, it's a mini Wall concert, but without the bricks. So that's that. I came up with that, or tried to make it, and then I thought what would be really good to end this performance. Well, there was 2 things. First of all, I knew in here there's a friend of mine called Tatiana, and she's also a David Lynch head. She loves David Lynch. So she was also upset. In fact, when David Lynch died, the first thing we did was message each other, "Oh my God, David Lynch is dead. We're so sad, blah, blah, blah." So I wanted, and I asked her as I was starting to put this together, I want to do this live. Would you like to give a 5-minute introduction, like speech, poetry, whatever you can come up with, tribute to David Lynch? And she graciously said, yes, hell yeah. So that was awesome. I didn't think that would happen. Somebody else getting involved in this project. So to do it live, I knew I had a 5-minute introduction. I had this 33-minute album with video projected. To end it, I thought I'd end this whole thing with a performance of what I already did in January when he died, where I did the Lady in the Elevator tribute. In heaven, everything is fine. So I thought I'd add that tribute to the end, and I already had a video for that. So I just cut and pasted that in and took out the interview bits. He was famous for his weather reports during COVID, so I had to leave one of those in. In fact, when we did the show, everybody liked that bit. They recognised that, his famous weather reports. So that's how we end the video, the performance. It starts with spoken word with projections of Eraserhead and some Lynchian moments. And then we have the album with a video to project onto me with parts of all of his movies. There's little tidbits there. There's even Nicolas Cage at one point doing the point. But anyway, we've got him and Twin Peaks, things like that. And then we end with Lady in the Elevator, me singing. That's the only song on this whole pack where I sing, and it's just simple. And then when it finishes with him, David Lynch, saying "Have a great day," basically.
In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven, everything is fine. You got your nice things, and I've got mine. I've got mine. In heaven, everything is fine. In heaven. things, and I've got mine. I've got mine. I've got mine.
For blue skies and golden sunshine all along the last of the way. Everyone, have a great day.
And then that's it. That's the live show that I came up with, that I wrote down here, had it all. Here we go, all laid out. Great. Now I just need to perform it somewhere. Another part of the puzzle. So a friend of mine owned a bar that did open mic nights, and I've been playing there quite a lot. And he also had bands on. And there, and I helped out with some band things because I like that, being hands-on. And I just said, I went to meet him and said, I've got this idea for a live performance I'd like to do. And he said, funny enough, I was going to ask you if you wanted to do any live shows at the bar, because you come here a lot and you play and people kind of like you. So would you like to put on a show? And I was like, bugger me, I was about to come ask you if I could put on a show. So that was everything seemed to fall into place. My friend Tatiana wanted to do the introduction. I put this visual audio thing together, and then the bar owner wanted me to play a gig anyway. So it was just great how it all came together, and I was like, yes. So we did. We booked a thing. He had all the sound. He's brilliant at sound engineering. He had all the PA system. I got the projector and the screen. I'm trying to think what else. So before we did, so we booked a date. I had the layout already in my head. This is essentially what was going to happen. A couple of changes because of the layout, the venue, but essentially that was all planned. So I'm quite a plan everything kind of guy anyway. So it was just rehearsed. Could this actually work? Like physically work? I already asked my friend, would it be a good idea? And he said, hell yeah, try it. And then I thought, physically, does this actually bloody work? So when I had to wait for the projector and the screen to arrive. So when the projector and screen arrived, we literally had test footage against my white wall. I moved the couch. We shut all the blinds, all the curtains, because it was in the daytime still. It needed to be dark, pitch black. The projector wasn't very... It was a Temu special. But I wanted the whole thing to be dark anyway, but it needed to be really dark for this to work. So, whapped the brightness up on that, had the video clip, had a song, and we did a test shot in here with the white wall projected onto it. And I'm going to put some footage of that in here now, I think. So yeah, anyway, that was the test footage, and I couldn't believe... I mean, it was a bit rough, but this could actually bloody work, is what I thought. So we were on. Game on. We had some time. I think I asked him in February or March. I can't remember. End of February, start of March, to do a show in April. So I had 6 weeks to get the projector in, the screen, all of the media done, rehearse. So rehearsal was headphones on every night, looking at the video on TV and playing. We did a test shot here, and then we did another test shot with the screen. I think we put the screen up. I can't remember. And then before the gig, a few days before, when we were setting up all the equipment, we had it was the week before, we had a rehearsal. Because then we could leave the stuff. There wasn't any events on, so we could leave the stuff. We did the screen and the song, and we spent some time getting it ready, and it was perfect. Well, it was gonna happen. It was gonna work. I was a bit not scared, but I was like, oh my god, this is actually gonna happen. Like, Christ, everything's going well. Usually it doesn't go well. Even plugging everything in and it all worked first time. Never had that before. With all my pedals and such. So yeah, we did that. So the first gig you can see on my channel, and I have a live album on Spotify. It's called Live at Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga's the bar that I played it at first. And that was just a great night. So that was the first gig with this album. We played a big arty gig there. We did the show all the way through. Tatiana gave her speech. And we did the gig. I played it. I don't remember much of it, but I played it. Did more guitar. I added more guitar stuff, like I spoke in the part 1 video. I added more guitar stuff live. And then we had this big crescendo. And then I gave a speech thanking everyone with a little background. And that was about, I think we were nearly an hour in to the whole thing. Nice, and it wasn't going to be a big show. It was just going to be like an hour. And I said the whole point was everyone gets together and listens to an album together, because nobody does that anymore. So I had something special. Nowadays, if you want a physical album, you buy a vinyl. It's got a nice sleeve. You get extra artwork with it. You get an interview, or you get a bonus disc. This was my live version of that. I thought I made an album. I made a video. We had some talking. We performed it. That was it. And then someone in the audience said, more. So I don't have more. That was it. So I had to wing it, and I actually did a cover version of an Adrian Belew song that I knew I could do with a looper pedal. Yeah, it wasn't too good of a version, but I just did something just to play with the guitar for a bit, make some weird noises, avant-garde. But the point is, it's an event that happens there's no stops for applause. There's no stops to talk about it. It's 33 minutes of pure just music, and you listen to it, but then when it finished, there was a nice big round of applause. I was happy. This actually worked. And then they wanted more. Oh, so anyway, that was that gig. And then following that gig, I planned on doing it again in other places, but just me and the projector. And I actually had a message out the blue from Stella and her brother Dimitar. They were asked if they could open up for a show in our local city, at a venue, a metal venue, rock metal venue. And they wanted an opening act for 30 minutes. And they asked me if I wanted to help them and to play some prog. They're into prog rock, so we were going to do some prog rock. And I said, yeah, great, yeah, let's learn some songs and let's try and do something. When we met up for the first time, they actually then changed their mind after we came up with a load of songs. And they said, actually, instead of doing 8 cover songs for half an hour, why don't we play this? They said, why don't we play that? Because we saw you play it. They came along, which was great. They saw the gig, me playing it live, which I thought was just going to be a one-off. And then I wanted to do more after they were saying Oshti Oshti. But they suddenly said, why don't we just play this as the opener? And I was like, oh, great. We couldn't do the projection or anything. But the challenge with this was I had 2 extra musicians. So I had to try and figure out with them. We rehearsed to make 2 extra parts worth. So for Stella, it was easy. She plays guitar. So this album is very sparse and there's room to add extra guitars. The issue was with Dimitar. He's the keyboard player, keyboardist, and he's very prog. So that's really, he's phenomenal keyboard player. And the only keyboard bits I had in the music was arpeggios and some bass-driven parts and some mellotron. So I basically asked, so I had an idea of what to do with the guitar, because they can just replicate some extra parts. For the keyboard, it needed a bit more thinking, but basically he's that good that I told him which songs needed more keyboard, and I basically gave him carte blanche. You know, I said to him, this is the vibe, you're very proggy. You can copy the melody in some parts, but in some other bits, go for it. Wherever you think is appropriate. So a great example of that is when we play Sleep. Sleep's a fantastic version. We've got, because I'm playing slide and some melody, it means Stella can play more of the chords to the song. So she puts a capo on and she plays chords. And Dimitar ends up not just mimicking the whole riff, the dum 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 dum. He starts to add things on top with his synth. So that was a great version. Another good song we did together was Animal, where we ended up adding the extra guitar parts, Pink Floyd-y, and he can chug a lot, like brilliant. It made the songs a bit more complete, just because we didn't have the visual aspect. We had, musically we could add more to make it more musical, and that was a great thing. So that gig was supporting Chris Dobrev, his album launch party, and he needed an opening act. So we went to a venue called Undercity, and you can listen to that on Spotify. I've got that as a live album. And yeah, it's basically the 3 of us playing. Well, we started with an Alan Parsons Project song, Sirius. We opened with that. A bit like I ended with Lady in the Radiator for the other gig. But this one we opened with a prog song to show it's proggy. And then we just played the album through. And then we added the extra bits. We rehearsed. There's rehearsal behind the scenes videos of that, which I'll probably link in. And then we have the gigs I'll link in, obviously. And we have the Undercity gig. And again, we had a crowd come. Some of them came to the other gig, so it was a bit of a different experience. And again, when they finished, we were told, more. People wanted to hear some more, but I don't have any more. Again. Plus, we only were supporting, so we had a half an hour slot or 40-minute slot, whatever it was. So that was another great success. We did that, and people liked that. So I feel like I'm on to something here. This is the first time I've recorded an album and I've gone and played it live all the way through and made like a show of it. So I've got a taste for this now. So I feel like I need to do more.
Every hour of the day. My life is full because I know that I'm loved.
So, funny enough, what I'm trying to do, because I have other musical projects. I'm doing lots of musical projects at the minute. So it's whenever I can find time. It's not like I can do this show 20 times this month. It's just as and when. So it will only be a couple of times this year. I've done it, 3 times this year? Something like that. The acoustic. I did some on the acoustic. I've done some acoustic nights playing some of the songs, and then I've got the Baba Yaga, the Undercity gig, and there was a third one I was going to do. I was speaking to an owner that said yes, but we've just had a summer break, so I'll see. I might be able to squeeze in another one at the end of this year, which would be nice. But the next steps are I'm currently writing and making. I'm not going to say the sequel, but more music to play afterwards along the same line. So I already have another project, aka Elephants 2, but it's not going to be Elephants 2. This Elephants is its own thing, but the whole style of getting the tracks, reversing them, reverb, and then adding to them, making it more electronic feel. I want to do more Adrian Belew style things. I think I can take that and make it kind of poppy. Avant-garde. I like the avant-garde music. That's my stage of my musical career I'm at the moment, where I like avant-garde. So Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, Frank Zappa, making weird noises. So I'm going to do something out. I've got another project I'm going to start, and I'm going to ask lots of people to join in on it, to play other guitarists, keyboard players, drummers. I want real drums on a song on this one for once instead of electronic drums. I might get my son on it. I want to get fiddle players that I know. I just want people on it. I think I want to do Elephants style, but that's its own thing. I'm not going to try and... The problem is people try and do the part 2 and they try and do the same thing again, and it doesn't work. It's not as good as the first one, yeah? So I'm more of trying to take the essence of the first one and do something else. So I'm going to try and introduce lyrics and singing on some of the songs. Not full singing songs, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, but maybe sing a hook for a little bit, make just a chorus, and add it to instrumental parts. I want to do more odd time signatures, polyrhythms. I've got a track which I'm trying to do with the guitar. I'm trying to figure it out, where it's in a 6. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I have a song where it's basically the song is in 4/4. Something like that, but it's more of a synth sound. I'm using my modular synthesizer pedal a lot more because I'm with the synth stuff. And then on top of that, we've got this. Which is in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that, a 12/8? Something like that. And then you've got this. Well, that won't be in 3. That will just be in 8. And then after we do the instrumental bit, then I'll come in with. So that's now in 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to start with a 6/8 or 12/8, whatever you want to call it. And put them together somehow. And so when I'm playing the straight 8-bit or the 4, I'm going to do a 6, and then when I'm doing the 6-bit, I want to do something that's a straight 4. Anyway, 2 different signatures put together. Let's see what happens. And then it will go. So maybe something in 3. Or 7 maybe. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Anyway, that's a sneak peek. More polyrhythm stuff and songs. But maybe one with a hook or some lyrics, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the journey with Elephants up until now. We made the album, made an audio-visual supplement to go with it, to perform live, an arty project, I want to call it. That was the nickname of the project, Arty Project. And then played a gig live, did some acoustic shows. And then now I want to write some more music to go with it. Hopefully, my idea is to do like Pink Floyd. I'm always referencing Pink Floyd and Crimson, but you have a part 1 and a part 2 of a show with a little gap in the middle. Traditional, yeah? 30, 40 minutes each. I think I can do that. Elephants is one. I could probably play one album, have a break, play another one. In the short term, I have other albums I've made. For the acoustic nights, I played my acoustic album, Sundoku. This is what it's called. Japanese name. I didn't play it all together, but throughout the acoustic nights I played and shows, I've played a song or two here and there. And I've actually ended up near enough playing the whole album. So I know I've got that. So maybe in the short term I could do Elephants plus that. Play the acoustic stuff, have a break electric, or the other way around. I don't know, to keep people to stay. Or maybe start with some acoustic, do the electric, and then end with the other half of the album. I don't know. Something like that. And then eventually when I have new material, electric, I can do that as well. But I might not make it continuous, the next one. I might be able to do it so it stops and starts and you get to clap. Or we might do a couple of songs to start with Elephants, then the other half, like with the acoustic. I don't know. Doing it slightly different. Anyway, so that's it. That's the journey of Elephants. This is the end of part 2. There's not going to be a part 3. Not yet. I'm working on it. Material. So there we go. Yeah. So Elephants. Keep showing the t-shirt. I'm not vain at all. Got to be kind of... Somebody commented... what was it? Pretty self-indulgent on one of my videos. And I was like, well, yeah, it's my YouTube channel. It's got to be kind of self-indulgent, hasn't it? I mean, I'm not going to play other people's stuff. I'm going to play my own stuff and be happy about it. But anyway, so that was funny. Oh, I've had some... It's because of the green guitar. Anyway, we'll not talk about the Jet comments. But yeah, Elephants, 1 year anniversary. Technically in part 1. I think this part 2 came out, or is going to come out like a week later probably. So that's the end of the saga of Elephants for me. Hopefully I'll get to play it live again this year before the year's out, and then next year who knows what's going to happen. More material, more band members, I don't know. Let's see what holds in the future. So thanks for watching. What's the thing James May doesn't like? Comment, like and subscribe. So if you can do that, please, if you want to. You don't feel like you have to. It's not like I'm got millions of viewers and subs. It's not what it's about. It's about just making the music and getting it out there. So that's all I want to do. So thank you for listening. If you can, check out the links in the description. Comment, like and subscribe. Tell me if you like it. Yeah, that's it. So thank you very much. Ciao for now.